Shequan Show.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in to the Shequan Show, the only place where normalcy is not necessary, but flourishing within your means is. You're finally flourishing with Shequan. And y'all, guess what? It's happening. It's finally happening. I have officially launched the Shequan Show podcast. And before I go any further, let me just take a quick moment to give a shout out to everyone that has been rocking with me since like 2008. For those of you that have been asking me about the Shequan Show podcast. And then lastly, for those of you who have actually held me accountable to do this. So here it is. We doing it. Although the Shequan Show has been around for a while, this is really my first time stepping into the podcast ring, believe it or not. But nonetheless, I'm super excited to welcome you all to my brand new podcast in this brand new season and my brand new series called Hey Girl, Nice to Meet You. This will still be a space where normalcy is not necessary, but flourishing within your means is still the name of the game. But this season is specifically designed for women who are ready to rediscover themselves. So maybe you have lost who you were along the way through motherhood or career loss, marriage, or just the everyday hustle and bustle of life. Or maybe you just simply want to get your life back on track. You're ready to meet a better version of you. But the real you, the stronger, freer, more confident you. So here in this space, we are going to unpack that baggage. We're getting ready to start packing light, and we're going to start taking flight. We're going to shed layers. We're going to break some cycles. We're going to step fully into becoming the women that we were created to be. So you can think of me as your, homegirl, tour guide, something of the sort, because I'm going to be your hype girl, but I'm also going to come with strategy. I'm also going to cheer you on, but I'm also going to challenge you, and I'm going to hold you accountable, but I'm also going to remind you of your worth every single time. The goal is not perfection at all by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. My goal is not perfection for you. My goal for you is for you to become your authentic self. I want you to meet and become and walk in the authentic you. Now, before we get ready to take flight, I think that it's important that I share a piece of my heart with you, because this series of Hey Girl, Nice to Meet You didn't just come out of nowhere. It was birthed out of these past few years and seasons of loss and grief and healing and rediscovery. So long story short, back in November of 2023, my grandmother passed away. I share a lot about this. If you've been rocking with me, then you know how much my grandmother means to me. You know how much of my heart that she has. And you know that I don't feel like my grandma was just my grandma. Like, my grandmother was the homie. My grandma was legit my homegirl. She was my safe space. She was my biggest cheerleader. She was the one that made me feel like I could do whatever I wanted to do. She was a large part of, she is a large part of the reason why I carry the confidence that I do. And this is what I mean by that. So when I was in second grade, there were auditions for Selena, like the Selena Bitty Bitty Bum Bum, right? And I came home and I told my grandma that I wanted to audition for the part. Now, my grandma could have told me in that moment that I wasn't Mexican. She could have told me that I could not be Selena, but you want to know what she did do? She helped me get ready for the audition. No, I didn't get the part. Some of y'all might say that it's a setup for failure, but I say it built character, and clearly it increased my confidence to the moon, because you couldn't tell me nothing. Feel how you feel. We listen and we don't judge. But really, besides my husband and Jesus, I would have to say that my grandma was my number one fan. So in every milestone and every accomplishment, I always wanted her to see it. I wanted her to be a part of it, not just because I wanted to achieve things. Of course, it's nice being recognized for the work that you do, but I really wanted to show her that she had done well, despite everything that we had been through, despite the obstacles, the ups and the downs, the mistakes, even her doubting herself. I wanted to show her that everything was all right. Like, God did it. Like, we're good. I had the honor and privilege of being able to be present, to hold my grandma's hand and love on her as she was transitioning. And when she transitioned out of that room, when she passed away that day, I felt like a large part of my identity left with her. And so for the first time, I wasn't just grieving her presence. I was also grieving the version of me that was wrapped up in making her proud. Not because she asked me to. She never asked me to go out and accomplish the things that I did. But that was something that I took upon myself. And so suddenly I found myself in this space where I had to face this new reality of asking the question of, who am I? Like, for real, who am I without all of the roles and all of the titles and the expectations? Like, when I looked in the mirror, who is this woman that I'm looking at? So I found myself having to get to know me for the first time. Like, it really felt like I was meeting Shequan for the first time. And that moment forced me into this journey of reintroduction. So I'm meeting myself again. I'm learning about who Shequan really is when she's not being the strong one or the achiever or the caregiver, when she's not the one holding everything together or the one that's bringing everyone together. And I went through this season of getting around communities of women and being able to just share with them and love on one another, commune with one another. And I began to realize that I wasn't the only one. I wasn't alone in this, because we can easily feel like we are. And I thought I genuinely was the only one going through what I was going through. But really, there are so many of us, like I said, whether it's going through loss or wifing, lifing, parenting, transitioning, whatever the case may be, we end up carrying these bags that weigh us down until we don't even recognize who we are anymore. So that's why this season of Hey Girl, Nice to Meet You is all about unpacking, literally and figuratively, because I see this being so much more than just a podcast. So stay tuned, because I'm way too geeked. I'm way too geeked. I'm excited and I'm nervous all at the same time. But again, we'll get into that later. What I want you to do right now is imagine that you're at the airport. You've been lugging around all of these overstuffed bags of people's expectations, fear, anxiety, guilt, low self-esteem, other people's opinions, lack of confidence, whatever the case may be. And somewhere between the boarding calls and the layovers, you forgot to check in with you. So this podcast is basically your baggage claim. That's what I want you to think about every time you log on to the Shequan Show. Every time we're together, we're going to unzip those bags and decide what still belongs and what has to go, because everything can't go where you're going. We're going to be traveling lighter. We're going to move freer. We're going to step into purpose without dragging every heavy thing with us. And as we go, we're going to sometimes have to lean on faith. We're going to sometimes have to dig a little deeper within ourselves. We may even have to peel back some layers that we weren't expecting to peel back. But we're going to discover the uniqueness that we all carry, which is the most important. The word tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And that's not just some cute little verse. That's a reminder that you weren't designed to live a weighed down life. You were designed to live freely. You were designed to live intentionally. You should be flourishing, period. So here is your first piece of baggage claim. You should already know by now that anytime you enter into the Shequan Show, you'll have no choice but to grow. So here's your first assignment. I want you to grab something to write with and to write on. You can even use your notes app in your phone, whatever is most convenient for you. But I want you to start with this sentence. Hey girl, nice to meet you. I am blank. I want you to fill in the blank, not with roles and titles that you carry, not with the weighed down expectations, not with other people's opinions or thoughts of who you are, but with who you truly are or who you are ready to become. Listen, y'all, this is just the beginning. If you need more than just the podcast, I'm also building a community called Finally Flourishing with Shequan, where we'll be able to dig deeper, connect more personally, and walk this journey together. So stay tuned for more details on that, because I can't wait to grow with you. Thank you so much for starting your journey with me, whether you're here to get your life back on track, make new friends, or you're just ready to finally flourish. We're going to be packing light and we're getting ready to take flight. All of that said, I am so glad you're here. I can't wait for you to meet you. Now that you've entered into the Shequan Show, you have no choice but to grow. Peace.
Shequan Show.